that be a conflict of interest? Well, it's not called a conflict of interest, but it has a weird twist to it. So what is a national interest waiver? A national interest waiver is the waiver of the offer of employment requirement. Normally you can't file a green card without a specific offer of employment. And NIW says, well, look, my work is so important, forget about the job offer. So while I'm not aware of any law that stops it, I'll have to, of course, review my notes and review the law real quickly before I give a definitive answer. But I think that's certainly an issue that should be very clearly studied. Why? Because on the one hand, you're saying job offer shouldn't be required. On the other hand, and you're also saying labor cert shouldn't be required. On the other hand, you're filing the labor cert. So that can be potentially conflicting, not a conflict of interest, but just a conflict in your own position. On the one hand, you're saying one thing, on the other, the other. So personally, I don't think it should be a problem, but that's just a guess. Like I said, this should be reviewed carefully before you file the case. Star 5, if you have a follow-up question, not a new question, just a follow-up question on this. So this one is from New York. New York, go ahead, please.
Hi, Rajiv. Thank you. So the conflicting side, when you're talking about that, will only happen if USCIS sees both my applications, right? What if I tell my employer to stop the regular EB-2 processing as soon as my NIW gets approved? That way,
I think that's fine.
USCIS will never.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. That's not illegal. I just haven't looked at this issue in detail, but I am aware of it as being a potential issue. So as far as not filing the I-140 and stopping it at PERM, that should fix the problem, I think. But, have your lawyers take a look at it.
Okay. Okay, since it is NIW, the lawyer will not be, supporting that.
No, you should tell your PERM lawyers that you're filing an NIW.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and if they can study it for you, great. If not, you can hire your own lawyers to take a quick look at this issue. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
All right, good luck. Okay, let's go on to the next frequently asked question. Right now, I'm just reviewing our frequently asked questions that are already posted on our forums. What are the consequences of H1B or green card fraud or misrepresentation? How does it affect my departure, assets, and financial matters? Okay, so this is a complicated and fairly lengthy question. It has so many ramifications. But let's say that there are two, obviously. One is a criminal prosecution, because remember, fraud and misrepresentation are also a criminal offense. Government may often not choose to proceed under criminal law. They may often just proceed under civil or immigration law. So under immigration law, fraud or misrepresentation is a permanent bar from entering the US ever. Okay, there are very few waivers. One waiver which is available in the context of a non-immigrant visa is called a 212D as in doctor, 3 as the number 3, 212D3 waiver. They are of limited use, not the best thing in the world. So it's a bad situation to be in. So there's the criminal side, there is the civil / asset forfeiture / immigration side. So now what happens to your assets, etc.? So if they proceed against you criminally, they can definitely move for asset forfeiture. Again, that's not my area of specialization. I shouldn't go too deeply into it, but I know that the government can do that. Okay. So let's see. Your questions are, if I get convicted of H1B green card fraud or misrepresentation, and I get a permanent bar from entry, then how soon do I have to leave the US? So if you get convicted, again, convicted means criminal. So if it's a criminal case, then you will not be able to leave without serving your sentence. So if you get jail time for 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, whatever time you get, you have to serve that before you leave. How soon do I have to leave? Well, that depends upon the posture of the case. The way I see it, I don't recommend that people stay illegally, but the worst that can happen to anyone has already happened. You are permanently barred from entering the US. If you overstay your welcome by 6 or 8 months, you have an additional bar of 3 to 5 years. You already have a permanent bar, 3 to 10 years. So I don't see, I see that question as rather a rhetorical question than an actual issue. Okay. What happens to my assets? Unless there is an asset forfeiture of some kind, you take your money with you. And you can sell your house and take the money with you too. But I'm not an expert in asset forfeiture laws. As far as I know, this can only happen in the context of somebody committing a crime. Okay. Press star 5 if you have a follow-up question. No new questions, please. Follow-up question? Okay. Let me go on to the next posted question on our forums, which is transitioning from H1B to I-485 Green Card EAD, maintaining status and re-employment consideration. So the idea is, I was on H1B, I filed my 485. If I start using my EAD, what happens? So I've got my EAD under 485. Should I still be maintaining my H1B? I always advise people, if you can maintain your H1, H4, L1, L2, etc., do so, because it gives you added protection against government mess ups in the 485 situation. If they come after your 485 for whatever reason, by mistake or deliberately, at least you have an H1B to fall back upon, and that's continuing. Okay. The next question was, if I don't work on Green Card EAD and take a break for now, then work again after 3-4 months, will my status not be in any issue? No. So the EAD, unlike H1B, gives you permission to do whatever you want. Work, not work, work 2 jobs, work 3 jobs, start your own business. But there are some limitations. Interestingly, the derivative beneficiary, which is your spouse, has more rights under the EAD than you do. You just have to be careful. Okay. Star 5 on your phone if you have a follow-up question on this. No new question, follow-up questions only. So this is from my neighborhood, Washington, D.C. Go ahead, Washington, D.C.
Hey, Rajiv. So about the status, right, going on to 45 EAD and then going back to H1 whatsoever if there is a problem. But you don't have to go through the lottery again, right?
You do not.
Would there be an option to
No,
file
no.
H1B?
You do not
at
have
any
to.
time?
You do not have to go through the lottery again.
Okay. So if we do find an employer who is willing to sponsor, if something does go wrong with the 485, you're okay, right?
You see, that's where things get very fuzzy. Okay. So that's why I like to have the H1B approved and ready to go. So let's say you have another employer. Okay. And you join them using your EAD. Now from EAD, you can't get H1B within USA. You can always go to a neighboring country, get a H1B visa stamp and come back. So what I would do is, I would get my H1B approved and keep it in my back pocket. So if I need it, I can go get the visa stamp and come back. Okay. But if the 485 is denied, then do you even have the right to extend or get your visa stamped? So that's why things get quite murky. My advice to people is to have a perfected H1B rather than depending upon your EAD. It definitely helps. And we've used this time and time again. I actually have a case going on right now. Okay.
Okay. So one more question about this. So if you have a H1B, do you have to be on H1B at that time, or still use the 485?
I just answered that question.
After you get a new extension, what's up?
No, I just answered that question in detail. What I told you is that it is better to have an H1B and be on H1B. If you can't do that, at least get an
Be on H1B.
If you're using an EAD, get your H1B approved, keep it in the back pocket. Whenever you get a chance, go get a visa stamp and come back and be back on H1B.
Okay.
All right. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, going on to the next frequently asked question, if there is one. No, there isn't. Now let's answer those questions that are the remaining non-frequently asked questions from our posted list. These are questions that have been posted on our forums. We open this particular thread and people can post questions. I think we keep about 12 or 13, then we close the thread. So this is a question from Harish Lankala that says, choosing between F1 and H1B for prospective students. Okay. So this is Harish from India. Started processing for F1 for August 2023 intake. Got the I-20. In 2023, my lottery petition got selected. So I'm confused whether I should do H1 or F1. Well, I think you should do an H1 because on H1, you can always go to school at the same time. Okay. But getting out of the lottery rut is a very difficult proposition. So if you've gotten lucky, I would use it if I were you. Does the above plan work? How much time can I change for change of status? Do I need to travel to India for H1B stamping? So what you are thinking is, keep the F1 process on hold for August and wait until H1 is approved. Okay. If H1 gets denied, then I'll defer August intake I-20 to December. Okay, defer. Okay. I got another suggestion as we proceed with F1 step. And if H1 not approved, you can apply for change of status and convert F1 to H1. Both of these situations can work. Okay. Both of these situations can work. No doubt about that. Star 5 if you have a follow-up question on this. No new questions, just a follow-up question. Okay. I have a question from Wisconsin. Wisconsin, go ahead. I can hear you.
Hi, Rajiv. So I'm in a similar situation. I'm not the one who posted that question.
That's okay.
But I was just wondering if you have any suggestion about transitioning from H1B to F1, which typically demands I-539. So would doing that allow me to recapture the unused H1B time at a later point? Because like you said, getting out of the lottery is difficult.
Yeah, it will. It will. If you have not used your H1 or if you are not even in the US, any time that you spend outside USA or not actually being on H1 status is preserved for your H1.
Okay, thank you. And I just have one more follow-up question, which is, if I'm certain that once, let's say my H1B was approved this year, which will come into effect on October 1st, and if I'm certain that I want to start a PhD, which requires a F1 visa during the next academic year, is it recommended that I go through the H1B processing through consular or through change of status? Because if it's consular, my H1B has still not taken effect, right, until I go out of the country.
That is correct.
Would that help?
So let me understand what you are trying to do. I'm a little confused. So currently you're on F1, right? Currently you're on F1, correct? Just one second. Okay, that was just my cell phone. All right, so currently you're on F1 and next year you want to go for PhD, correct? Hello?
Yes, okay. And I've been picked in the lottery.
And you have been picked in the lottery. So the dilemma is whether I should convert from F1 to H1 or reserve my conversion to later time and continue on my F1. So when does your current F1 end? Are you on OPT?
That is correct. My OPT will begin in June and end next June.
Okay. I personally think you should do a change of status to H1B. Okay. You can, the way I look at it, and you can discuss this with the DSO, I had this question asked today also. The way I look at it, when you want to go back to PhD, now you've got your lottery secure. You don't have to, you've used maybe 8 months or 12 months of lottery, of H1B. When you want to go back to school, you apply for change of status to F1, change back, okay? And because H1B allows you to go to school, you can actually start attending school even while the F1 is pending. Okay.
Okay.
So once your F1 is approved, you can actually even go full-time. This is my opinion, that you can even go full-time. You don't have to maintain your H1B all the way. You could resign your H1B job once you file the F1 change of status. At least that's the way I see the latest policy the government has. You only have to be in status when you apply for the F1 change of status. So I think that's what makes more sense to me. Get your change of status now. Then when you want to go back to school, go ahead and file a change of status back to F1 and start school or continue with school. You can even go to school while you are holding an H1B. That's allowed. You can work and go to school at the same time.
Okay. So it's highly recommended I preserve my slot in the lottery.
Yeah,
even if it calls for more paperwork.
Yeah, I would definitely do that because that's such a huge advantage.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, Attorney.
Good luck. Okay, going back to the posted questions, let's see. Next posted question is H-4 EAD eligibility. This is question number 5. H-4 EAD eligibility for spouse based upon pending permanent labor certification application, AC21 rule. So my PERM will be filed in April 2024. My H1 ends in October 2024. Yeah, so the H-4 EAD is available in 2 circumstances. 1, your I-140 is approved, and 2, and I'm speaking from memory here, if you have received a 7th year H1B extension, which you will once your PERM reaches the age of 1 year. Okay. So you should be able to file for H-4 EAD, but I think you have to have your H1B approval simultaneously at that point of time. So I don't remember the exact language of the law. This provision is very rarely used, but it's there in the books for sure. Okay. So I can't really tell you what the strategy should be because I have to go look at the law. What does it say? Do you have to have an H1 7th year already approved? Or can you bundle your 7th year extension along with her H4 EAD? That would be really good because you can premium everything. Okay. So I can't give you a definitive answer, but that's definitely something worth looking into, and you're on the right track. *5 if you have a follow-up question. No new questions. Press *5 on your phone if you have a follow-up question. Okay. Next posted question from Ritika. H1B status and options to preserve employment. Work for a company full-time, H1B picked by consultancy. I want to save my job as well as the H1B. Is there a way to attain this? Well, you can convert to a contractor, you've heard. These are the only options, that is true. There is no magic option here, Ritika. It's a very limited set of options that you have, and you already know the only other option you've got. I would be careful with doing that. I would check with my lawyers. Don't just convert to that the consultancy files an H1B and you convert to being their employee and your employer's contractor, that's full of risks too. So just be careful with that. Star 5 if you have a follow-up question on this. Star 5. Okay. Priority dates and CSPA implications. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Priority date EB-2 is 2014 through previous employer. With current employer, when PERM was approved, I filed concurrent 485 and EB-3 in October of 2020. After EB-3 I-140 approved in May 2020, used the same PERM to file EB-2 I-140, got approval. At that time, the date was current under EB-2 final action dates. Oh, good. So as per USCIS guidance, I did interfile my I-485. My son is currently 18 and his CSPA age is less than 21. I think from what I can tell, I mean, I would of course have to sit down and work out the numbers and review the law before I say this definitively. It certainly looks to me like your son's age is locked, both because you have, let's see, you have one 485. Did you file a second 485 or no? Are you on the call here? Star 5 if you are here. Press star 5 if you are here. Okay, so I don't really know. Oh, you're here. Good. New Jersey. Did you file a second 485 or no?
No. That I just interfiled.
You just
I didn't
interfiled.
file a second 485.
Okay. So it looks to me, and again I'm going off on a bit of a guesswork here. Don't take my word for it. Have it double checked. I think this is what happens. Your son's age was CSPA locked under the old petition. Okay, that we are clear about. Then when you interfiled, he was still under 21 and the final action dates were current.
Right.
So he should be locked under that, right? But the question is he locked under both or only under one? Okay.
No, under one only because
right.
In EB-3 my date was never become final action.
Oh, okay. I see. So you never got. Yeah. You should be, as far as I can remember, from the USCIS memo on this, because you requested interfiling when the dates were current and he was still under 21. You should get benefit of CSPA, as far as I know.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to rely on that USCIS memo only.
Yeah,
and
I believe so.
That will be basically we can.
But let me also point out one thing to you. Converting him to F1, his 485 is now pending, right?
Yeah, 485 is pending, right?
Okay, so then he will eventually get his EAD. So I don't I don't see the need to convert him to F1 then.
No, only thing is like if he goes past 21 and then the CSPA, USCIS come and he says, oh no, it is not logged. So that's the only concern.
You can have that double checked.
On the USCIS memo for.
You can have that double checked. I don't think that's a very difficult determination to make. Somebody just needs to sit down, read the language of the memo, apply it to your case and make a positive determination. I think he's protected. But if you want to convert him to F1, that's also an option, especially if you want to go back for L1A.
Right. So L1A, I cannot keep them here and I
Nope.
can go, right?
Nope, you cannot. You cannot.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Good luck,
okay,
sir.
I think that's answer my most of question.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Next posted question. A PERM Options, future employer with approved prevailing wage for a 90% different job. So currently working as a data scientist. Now you're going to another employer who can file a PERM using an existing prevailing wage. But the job is program analyst. Look, I don't care about that. As long as you are qualified for the job. Okay. Let's say the job says master's degree in computer science with 1 year of experience. And you have that experience, even though you have 8 years experience as a data scientist. I don't think that makes any difference. As long as you qualify for the job. Okay. Star 5, if you have a follow-up question on this, press star 5. Okay, so yeah, the bottom line is, if you genuinely qualify for the prevailing wage that they already have, I don't see any problem with it. Then we come to the next, which is question number 11, travel plans and passport change, validity of H1B and options for stamping on Australian passport. So I'm currently an Australian permanent resident with an Indian passport. I was in the US 9 years H1 and L1. I have an I-140 approved under EB-3. I'm cap exempt. You had an H1B approved. So if you get an Australian passport, that should not be a problem. You can still use that H1B. So I don't know if you can carry both passports. You can always go back and get an H1B visa stamped. You can also send an email to the consulate if you can just carry the two passports together. Typically what we do is, I think you have to surrender your passport, right? They don't let you keep your Indian passport once you become an Australian citizen. So I think you need to, this is what I recall, you need to get an H1B visa stamped on your Australian passport. Shouldn't be a problem. What happens is, let's say your passport was expiring, then you can carry two passports because it's India's passports. But if you convert to Australian citizenship, I think you have to give up your Indian passport. *5, if you have a follow-up question on this, press *5. Okay, let me lock our conference so no other people can log in. Give me 1 second.
The conference is now locked.
That way I can make sure that people who are here, their questions are answered. Okay, *5, if there's a follow-up question on this, please, *5. Yeah, get your Australian citizenship and get the visa stamped again. No big deal. Operating an LLC from outside the USA. So I'm on H-4 EAD. If I open an LLC, can I operate an LLC from the outside the US? I'll be moving to Canada as a PR. Sure, why not? I don't see any problem as long as you don't have to keep coming back into US to work. If I want to open an LLC to rent my house, is it possible to operate the LLC from Canada? See, immigration law wise, there is no issue. I can't think of any reason why you cannot. Okay. *5, if you have a follow-up question, press *5. Okay, next question is from Abhishek Trivedi. I think this is the last question, then we can start with new questions. STEM OPT EAD expires before the visa. Is it safe to enter on day-1 CPT? Yeah, that's always difficult to predict. You see, plenty of people have been able to enter without any problem. But I always worry that Customs and Border Protection could start creating problems for you. Okay, so very difficult to say how this will work out. *5, if you have a follow-up question, press *5. Okay, area code 682. Let's see. Texas. Yeah, area code 682. Go ahead, I can hear you.
Hello, sir. Yeah, actually, if I have a question, like if they do not let us enter on that, like let's say my EAD expires at 6 and I enter on like 1. So if a company allows us to work from India without, like, if I won't have any status in the US, right? Because my EAD expires and my visa expires, and they don't let me enter. So can I work from India on a US payroll?
Absolutely.
With the same company without having any status?
Absolutely. The way we do it is we have several employees working internationally, and we just have an independent contractor contract with them. So instead of being on W-2, they get paid on 1099. And, yeah, that's perfectly okay as long as you're not working with restricted technologies which are not allowed to be exported. You can work from anywhere. I don't see any problem with that. Okay.
And so it will. Do I need to inform my employer that this needs to be changed, like W2?
No, I see. This is a
they'll do it by their own?
immigration law-wise. We don't have any problem. Is there a problem with U.S. Labor laws or any state laws? I don't know why it should be a problem. You have a social security number. They'll be deducting your tax amounts, etc. If you're working from outside the U.S., so what? So I would double check this with the CPA, what the tax angles are, and I would double check with the employer's employment lawyers. Immigration law-wise, you have no problem. One more thing I was going to suggest. One big advantage of, I'm not a tax lawyer, so double check with your CPA. One big advantage of 1099 is you can write off a lot of your expenses for work. So for example, let's say you're working from India. You buy a computer for office use. That's a write-off, tax write-off, because you're an independent contractor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there's a lot of advantages. You travel to USA, you can write off that ticket if you're coming to USA for work purposes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 1099
and my H1, like,
Go ahead.
H1 starts from October 1st, and so I'm not doing change of status. Instead, I'm doing
Counselor?
consular process.
Yeah,
So,
that should be okay.
okay.
All right.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Good luck. Okay, guys, I think I'm done. You're not, I know I'm done. Yep, I'm done with all the posted questions. Anybody has any question, press *5. Anybody has any question, press *5 on your phone, and I'll unmute you in the order that you logged in. Okay, so, wow, this one is going to be easy. Just 7 questions. All right. 7 questions. First one is from Pennsylvania. Well, no, there's 9 questions. Okay. 9 questions. First one is from Pennsylvania, area code 412. Let me find you 1 second. Pennsylvania, go ahead, please.
Yeah, hi Rajiv. Good afternoon. I wanted to know if your firm can help me with the asylum green card process.
No, ma'am. We don't do asylum.
F1?
Yeah, we don't do asylum cases. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last time I did an asylum case was about 30 years ago for a friend, not for myself. So, no, we don't do asylum cases. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sure. Thank you.
Good luck. Bye-bye. Okay. Hold on a second.
Thank you. Bye.
Let me go to the next person. This one is from 917. New York? Yeah. Okay, 917. Let me find you. Yeah, 917. Go ahead, please.
Rajiv. So I have a question on NIW. So if I apply for regular EB-2 through my employers and my I-140 gets approved, and then post 180 days, I get some additional benefits, right? Does the same rule apply if I have I-140 approved through EB-2 NIW?
That's an interesting question. From what I remember, now, because the I-140 is not filed through your... okay. Now, here's the answer.
Right.
I was getting lost because I've never... I just formed a new neural connection because I had not considered this aspect. But I got this. So the way it works is, when you have an I-140 approved through employment, you are tied to that employer. If that employer revokes your I-140, you lose your right to extend your H1B. You don't lose your right to keep your priority date, but you lose your right to extend your H1B unless the I-140 stayed approved for 180 days, right? NIW is your own approval. Okay? Your right to extend your H1B is already yours. Unless you revoke your own I-140, you don't need the 180 days. right?
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. And
Yeah.
then one last question. So there's a thing that, like, if I'm not in the location where the PWD was applied for, and one of the questions I answered in the past was, or you answered in the past was like, as long as you have the intention to go back to that location once your I-140 EB-2 reg gets approved, you should be okay.
Yeah.
But in this case, since there is no PWD, no location, no LCA, once my NIW gets approved, should I move or like I just
No. You are not tied to any geographical location, but you're only tied to the area of work that you said you will do. Okay. One question I haven't ever checked into is this. So NIW says, I intend to work on a project that would be in the US national interest. So let's say, what is your field, if you don't mind sharing with me?
AI.
Okay.
NLP,
so
AI,
so let's take an example. Let's say you said, I am going to work in AI and I'm developing for Fermi Labs or for some other government organization. I'm developing this AI software that will help with the pattern identification, let's say in cosmic noise or in healthcare systems. But what if instead of working in healthcare systems, you take a job, let's say, with traffic control? You're still using AI. So does the NIW survive? I think it does. Okay. And another thing is, NIW is also not for a current job. It says, I'll do that job when I get my green card. So I think you have a lot of latitude. That's the way I see it.
Awesome.
So you're not tied to a geography, but you are tied to national interest.
I see. Makes sense. Okay.
All right.
Fine.
Good luck. Okay. Area code. Let's see. Who is the next person in the line? This is question number 6 remaining. Question number 6 is coming from Kansas. Kansas is area code 913. Kansas is 913. Okay. 913, I can hear you.
Hi, Rajiv. This is Shri.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question on my H1B. So I'm on my H1 and I have changed my address to a different apartment, but in the same community. So should I file for amendment in the change of address?
No. There's no amendment needed. First of all, was your H1B approved for you to work from home?
Specifically, I am not sure.
Okay, so you need to contact your lawyers. First thing you need to do is file AR11. Within 10 days of moving, you have to go online and file AR11. That you have to do until you become a US citizen. Every time you move, you must file AR11. Okay, so that you have to do. Then what you do is you contact your lawyers and say, hey, you guys, did you get my H1B approved for my home location also? If they say yes, you do not have to do an amendment. Your lawyers will just send you a notice that you can post in your new home for 10 days.
Okay.
That's all you have to do. Nothing much.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Are you good?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's see. What's the next question? The next question is from Connecticut, area code 803. That number looks familiar for some reason. 803. Okay. 803, I can hear you. Go ahead, please. 803, Connecticut. Oh, no, is it? Oh, sorry, not Connecticut. Columbia, sorry.
South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Thank you very much. And first of all, let me thank you for your valuable time because I've been constant participant for your calls, maybe from 5 to 6 years now. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure. So you are.
I'm a U.S. citizen. Sir. So I filed a 130 on my brother who lives in Ireland but an Indian citizen.
Okay.
and he also has a B1 visa.
Okay.
So is it a right approach, like if he comes over on a B1 and we file for an adjustment of status,
Well, first of all,
would that help in any way in expediting?
no, it does not. First of all, you can't file a 485 until his date becomes current, and his priority date will be about 17 years backed up.
Right.
Okay, first of all. Second, it is illegal for somebody to enter the US representing to the government at the airport that I'm just coming as a visitor. If they have let's say his date was current and you wanted to file for adjustment of status. If he used B1, B2 for that purpose, they could bar him from entering USA forever based upon fraud. Okay, so no, that's not an option.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Good luck.
Thank you. Yep, thank you. Take care.
You are very welcome, sir. Take care of yourself. Oh, no, I don't know why I kept saying Connecticut. Connecticut is the next one up, 860. All right, next one is Connecticut. All right. Connecticut, go ahead, 860. Go ahead.
Hey, Rajiv, thank you so much for the call. And yes, this is from Connecticut.
Finally.
So,
Okay.
I have, finally, yeah. So I have a little complicated situation. I came originally in 2007 and got my master's.
Okay.
And 2009 I passed out. It was chaos at that time. So I picked up a not-for-profit organization and worked.
Okay, hold on one
year
second. Hold on 1 second.
on my EAD.
Hold on 1 second. I have to stop you because I used to do the same thing. Passed out in India means you graduated. In USA, it means you fainted.
Yeah. I passed.
You graduate.
Okay.
You graduated.
I graduated. Right.
Okay.
You're right. True. Thank you. So I graduated. I completed my master's, to be very precise, in 2009, and I joined a not-for-profit organization on EAD. Worked for 1 year.
Okay.
So then they filed my H1 and the non-quota H1.
Sure.
So it was a premium processing that was approved very quickly.
Sure.
And I was working very happily. My father was not well. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh.
And I had to go to India and to stay there to take care of my mom in all the ways and to be with family. So after a long gap of 9 to 10 years, I came back to US for master's again. It's a business analytics with data science as a major.
Okay.
And I contacted my ex-employer that, hey, I would love to work with you guys. But they said that we don't have a budget right now and we'll let you know when the budget comes up. So I filed for H1B this year through a consultancy. Luckily got picked up. And now I got email from my ex-employer that now we have budget and you can join us.
Okay.
So I'm confused. So whether I should join the not-for-profit organization, and I'm yet to graduate. Like out of like 13 subjects, I cleared my 12. I just only one subject to clear, which I registered for June, and I will be graduate in June. So this is my second master's. So like, should I go back and join the not-for-profit organization, which I definitely love?
Hang on.
Hang on. Yeah, so,
Are you in the same city, school and the job?
yeah, I'm in the tri-state area. I'm just 2 hours, and one of my campuses is near New York City, like 30 minutes from New York City, so I can manage them.
Why can't you do this? Why can't you just take on the H1B and reduce your work, your study load to part-time, 3 or 4 credits per semester, and study as well as do your job?
Yeah, I mean, I have only one subject left, only 3 credits before graduating, so I'm done. It's not much about work. There's only one subject left, so I can graduate very easily.
Well,
So the question is whether I should go for this for-profit H1 or not-for-profit and join not-for-profit, because they filed for my not-for-profit non-quota H1 back in 2010, and because I resigned in June 2011, it was used only for like 10 months or so. Can it be revived, or do they have to file again?
No, wait. I understand the non-profit situation. Did you also get an H1B lottery approval this year?
Yes, I got a lottery picked up this time because I filed through a consultant. Yeah.
Okay. And they have
They also have a project kind of in a final stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I would do, because lottery is so important. Unless you think you want to work for the nonprofit for the next 15 years while you get your green card. Is that what you would prefer to do? Would you prefer to work for the nonprofit research organization?
Probably yes.
Then in that case, lottery is a non-issue for you. So I would finish my school.
Okay.
And then remember, you have six years of H1B again, because you were outside USA for more than a year, and the quota exempt employer can start the 6 years all over again. They can start your H1B again, no problem.
Oh, and it can be filed anytime, right? It's not
Anytime.
Like just
it can be
for
filed.
The quota when you to file it before.
Yeah. That's the whole advantage of being quota exempt. You can file today, tomorrow, June, July, doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay.
And in the other scenario, let's say, because if I say these people, no, obviously you would know that working in not-profit is always like less salary and all the restrictions and all. But just in case if I decide to go for-profit, because they also seem to have a nice project with me, for me, you're saying that you would probably suggest that, right?
Well, I prefer the lottery option because then I'm free of the damn lottery forever.
Right.
So
got it. That's what I've been hearing your answers to some of the previous questions. Got it.
Yeah. See, the kind of person I am, I like freedom. Okay. For me, it is important to have my freedom above all. So what I would do is I would tell the project people, okay, go ahead and do my project. I'll join, and I'll finish my credits at the same time. And by the way, 3 credits, so you should be able to take even online. They allow that.
That's the problem with my university. I'm in UConn, and they said that, hey, it's the last subject and you cannot take it online. I said, what kind of law is that? They said, no, you cannot take the last subject. So they're forcing me to take it like on campus. So that's funny thing. But we have a campus near New York, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. Do it that way then. Make sure, because lottery has a huge advantage. I would do it. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Rajiv.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. Good luck. Okay, we have 4 more questions left. Let's see who's next. This one, no, not 4, 3 more. We just finished. Did I screw that up? I think I did. No, I just finished Connecticut. Okay, I might have screwed one phone number up. No, I haven't. Okay, we are good. Let's see. We are going to Ohio next, which is area code 937. Area code 937, go ahead, please.
Hey, hi, Rajiv. I have a question for my situation. So I've been recently laid off, and I'm on a STEM OPT, which is going to expire in a year.
Okay.
So I have 2 questions in this regard. One is, my employer has directed me for claiming the unemployment benefit which is provided by state of Ohio. My question regarding that is, would it be, am I really eligible to do that being on a F1 visa?
Okay, one second.
There
One second. Were you talking to me on LinkedIn also?
Oh yeah. I emailed. I think you on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So what I told you. Yeah. What I told you was this. I said, listen, there's nothing in immigration law that stops you from taking unemployment benefits. Why? Because unemployment benefits are a private insurance. You're not taking government benefits. This is a private insurance, as far as I understand the system. So your employer pays for it. They have paid for your insurance, and now you're getting paid for it. The problem is sometimes the state laws don't allow you to take the benefit. So, for example, let's say if you have an H1B, right, and you're not able to find a job, on the 61st day you're out of status. Grace period is gone. Can you then take unemployment? Under immigration law, I would say yes. Why? Because you have worked for that. It's not like you are working for that. That money is coming to you out of an insurance. It's like having an accident, right? But the state employment laws might say, if you don't have work authorization, we won't give you unemployment.
Okay, makes sense. So in this case, the other question I was having was the same thing. Since I have like 150 days left on my OPT,
So
like OPT and STEM.
You should be able to
So
take
should I, like,
unemployment. If they allow it at the state level, you should be able to take it. Okay.
Got it. Yeah. And one other question I have is, as I mentioned, it's just like a 1 year left on my STEM. Do you have any specific guidance or like any resources available if you, where I could find any other visas that can, possibly be an extension for my work or stay in US, like working, staying in US?
No, most people are going back to do their CPTs, ma'am. So that's the only option.
How about got it. And how about convincing the employer of going back to India and working for them? And I mean, I just got this like when you were answering someone else's question on call today, like on the 1099. So can I start an employment on F1 being on apart from any other W2? So not being on a W2, being on a contract or a 1099?
No. Under first year of OPT, you can. But once you're on STEM OPT, you've got to be on W2.
Okay.
Anything else?
Got it. So the only possibility would be like if my STEM expires, either do a day-1 CPT or else it's going to be moved back to India and ask them to do it as an independent contractor.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Good luck.
Yep. Thank you, Rajiv.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, let's go to next one is from Illinois, area code 312. Let me find 312. 312, go ahead, please. Illinois?
Hi, Rajiv. I had two questions. The first is, how many days can we work from outside the US remotely while being on F1 OPT? The maximum number of days.
Okay, so
if a company is going to allow it.
If you go to my blog, I just posted the new policy announced by SEVIP and the frequently asked questions. Just go to my blog on immigration.com. So they are only going to allow the COVID protection till August, I think. Okay. After that, the rules change back. And you have to talk to your DSO what rules cover you. Okay. So you may not be allowed to work from outside the US any longer.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, double check that.
The second question I had is
Go ahead.
I'll do that. The second question I had is my company merged with another company and they got rebranded to a new name.
Okay.
So it was X before and now after merging with another company, they're now Y. Should I report that change on my to the DSO to get an updated I-20 as well?
Oh, yes. And you should, I think you should file a new 983 just by way of caution if it's the same company even then. Just say that, you talk to your DSO, just say what do they need. I think they'll ask you for a new 983.
But I spoke to my immigration HR and she mentioned that we don't have to report this change because even though they've officially merged, we're still operating as two separate entities and it should be fine for OPT.
See, then I don't know enough.
I don't know the exact...
Yeah, I don't know enough about this to make a comment. So the idea is, think about how a corporation works. By the way, what is your major? What do you do?
Information science.
Information science. So you don't know anything about corporate law. The way corporations work is corporations can merge by one corporation buying all the stock of another corporation. Like Elon Musk bought the stock of Twitter. Twitter stays the same.
Okay.
But the owner changed.
Right, but but here the company name has changed up to...
Name change doesn't mean anything.
A merger, but...
Name change doesn't mean anything. If Twitter changes to, I don't know, hand clucking, it would still be the same company. Name change doesn't matter.
Okay.
But double check with your
Okay,
DSO. You
got it,
should
got it.
report all changes to DSO. It's a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Rajiv.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, so the last one is from my neighborhood, area code 703, Virginia. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Rajiv.
Hello.
So I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I have filed for H1 lottery this year from two different companies. One is the full-time company which I'm working with, and the second one is with consultancy, where I might have to do contract job.
Okay.
So the H1 got picked with consultancy rather than my full-time company. What would be the best suggestion?
Well,
Like,
the two, I'm hoping that the two companies don't have any collusion. No, they have never talked to each other and all that.
they have.
Yeah, don't file that H1.
Okay, don't file in
Nope.
the H1.
Don't file that H1B.
Okay.
Don't even get close to
Okay,
filing.
wait for 1 more year and next year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Walk away from that
and
H1B.
one more question is, yes, one more question is, I've heard people are receiving notices who has filed multiple H1 in the lottery.
Notice of intent to revoke, right? Or deny. NOID.
Yeah, denied. Yeah, who has filed for with the same company or the sister company's multiple lotteries.
Yeah.
Do you think I should be concerned?
No. Because you're not
Because
filing.
these are not
You're not
sister companies.
filing. You're not filing, so why should you be concerned? Okay.
Okay.
So technically, the fault is committed when you file the lottery. Okay. But the government is not likely to come after you if you don't even use that H1B. Can they bring it up next year? They might. But, I know people who have applied for 8-10 different lotteries. I mean, how many people can they go after? Technically, they could come after you next year also, but I don't think they will.
Okay, the best option would be not filing
Yeah,
the H1
I don't think
service
so.
and
I don't think so.
try to be with the full-time company.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Good
and
luck.
Yep. Thank you, Raj.
You're
Cheers.
welcome. You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
My pleasure. All right, folks, that was all we had today. So good to talk to you all. Next week, we will do this on LinkedIn. Okay, so we're doing one week on LinkedIn, 1 week here. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.